For the telecommunications sector, it is a game changer. For consumers, it will deliver a level playing field on which retail competition will be unleashed to drive innovation, price competition and choice. The government has always said that it was possible to achieve a win for Telstra shareholders and a win for the Australian public and consumers as a whole. This agreement provides us with a clear pathway to take Australia from the copper age to the fibre future. In support of the agreement, the government will progress public policy reforms to support the transition to NBN. In the transition to a wholesale-only NBN, it is important that we ensure that fundamental consumer safeguards and protections remain in place. This includes the ongoing delivery of reliable and affordable voice services. That is why the government has announced that it will establish a new entity, USOCO. We got up on the Sunday morning before we made the announcement. And we'd been calling it USOCO just as sort of shorthand. And we woke up and we'd been working for about a week. We barely slept in between the World Cup and the negotiations. We barely slept. And I got up on the Sunday morning and I said to the team, who'd all worked through the night, has anyone thought of a name for USOCO yet? And we were just too tired. We literally said, let's just call it USOCO. We will try and come up with a better name by the time we actually get round to implementing it. But it was just one of those funny things. Oh my God, of all things, we haven't thought of a name for USOCO yet. So it's officially USOCO for the moment. But from the 1 July 2012, it will assume responsibility for most of Telstra's universal service obligations for the delivery of standard telephone services, payphones and emergency call handling. Excuse me. Under these arrangements, Australians will have the security of knowing that they will continue to have dependable access to a standard phone service. Australians will be relieved to know that control over the removal of payphones and management of emergency call services and the National Relay Service will be the responsibility of an entity formed entirely to deliver on these public services. For the first time, the Commonwealth will provide funding to support the delivery of the USO, and this funding will build to $100 million per year by 2014. The government has also announced that from 1 January 2011, NBN Co will become the provider of last resort in new greenfield estates. And I should say, the industry levy that supports the USO at the moment will still be in place. We will restructure it, we'll discuss with the sector. So it isn't that the government is taking over the entire responsibility and all those telcos just to get a slide out of it. All of them will be a beneficiary over time of getting access to these services. And we will be working that issue through. But the greenfield estates, as I mentioned, the government has always believed that it is not good enough for people to move into a new home only to find out later that they cannot get decent broadband. Our policy changes will solve this problem and ensure that everyone gets the benefit of affordable, high-speed broadband. The NBN is central to Australia's economic future. It will deliver universal, high-speed broadband to households and business, no matter where they are located. It will provide an enabling platform which will facilitate innovation in service delivery, access and communication. It will provide people with disabilities and their carers with more opportunities to participate online in employment, education, health, government services, commerce and social networking. It is important that as Australians become more connected online, tools such as YouTube, Skype and other mainstream applications with built-in accessibility features like the iPhone's built-in screen reader continue to be developed. It is also important that applications are developed in a way which, excuse me, but it won't help unfortunately. The antibiotics I've been on for 9 weeks haven't. Doctor keeps saying take 2 weeks leave, Steve. Like you were going, right, just give me more drugs. But it is important that applications are developed in a way which will help people with disabilities to not only have access, but to protect their information, privacy and safety online in the same way as other Australians. While our reforms to the sector are important to drive better consumer outcomes, we must also remain vigilant to ensure that consumers are able to make well-informed choices. In part, this comes down to the quality of information available to consumers and effective enforcement tools. The ACCC is also doing a lot of work to improve advertising standards among telecommunications providers. It's fair to say that many people have not been happy with the advertising practice of telecommunications providers. I know Alan likes to talk about the way products are promoted as being confusopoly. The ACCC has identified the 12 most prevalent types of potentially misleading conduct made in the sector, and these include the inappropriate use of expressions like free, unlimited, no exceptions, no exclusions, or no catches. All pretty simple and definitive words in the English language. But that's certainly not been the way they're being used. Headline prices that don't represent the total price. Prominent claims about price, data allowances, speeds or coverage that are inaccurate or not correct for all consumers. In September last year, the ACCC received court-enforceable undertakings from Telstra, Optus and Vodafone Hutch, and these three industry leaders undertook to stop making claims that might be misleading to consumers. The ACCC is prepared to take action where it believes there have been breaches of these undertakings. In fact, it recently started legal action against Optus for using the term unlimited in the advertisements for one of its plans when the ACCC says that the plan is, in fact, subject to a number of limitations and restrictions. The second element in promoting the interests of consumers is in providing assistance for consumers in choosing a service. The ACMA will shortly commence its public inquiry into customer services and complaint handling in the communications industry. Amongst other things, ACMA will investigate the way that industry provides assistance to consumers and the way it responds when things go wrong. ACMA's chair, Chris Chapman, wants to use its Reconnecting the Customer campaign to get the cooperation of the large providers on enforceable strategies for reducing complaints to the TIO about complaint handling. I'm reminding industry that they should make use of this window of opportunity.